Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the Shadows on the show. Today, it's the showcase, as you can see.
That's right,
we
folks.
got a new one because the other one was bad.
That's right.
But this one's better. We think it might not break like the other. It might still break like the other one.
The other one was just.
But this one has a light, and I don't know if
it was just too small and couldn't handle the 12-ounce load that we were putting on.
12 ounce.
This one's supposed to go up to 30 pounds, and
I highly doubt that it can take 30
one
pounds.
One of our projects actually might come close to that bill. So
30 pounds.
This one maybe it's pretty heavy. It's not 30 pounds, but it's heavy. Let's get on with.
It's less than 5.
Yeah, well.
Maybe 5.
The first project we did this month
is this.
The infamous
brain in a jar.
You want to turn them on?
A jar.
You want to turn them on?
Mine is not good. I'll probably remake it. Much like his first one being bad, my first one is also bad. Well, this one, pretty good. One of the first good things you made.
Really?
No, that's a lie.
Let's hit the spinner.
Oh, yeah?
Nathan, I hope you're enjoying this. This is all for you, buddy. Keep up the good work.
That's pretty neat.
You've really been knocking it out of the park with your Final Faction. We're going to have some hard work to catch up to you.
We are doing some Final Faction next month, but nothing too big.
Yeah, actually something completely out of the realm of Final Faction, sort of. A kind of a huge departure from the normal craft, the normal action figure sort of thing. We've got something really kind of spiffy planned. Hope you guys enjoy it.
But not a craft, unless we're absolutely that desperate, which I highly doubt we will be. So
let's move on to something I had a lot of fun with.
Yes. I mean, this isn't really, it's not really anything to do with the theme this month.
Is that light on?
No, it's not.
Okay. It's actually reflecting the red light from the sun.
I know, but it's on the red light.
The Wendigo, I really started this project really not looking forward to it. I wanted to do something completely different, but I couldn't find any other Western themed monsters besides cactus people and and
I didn't actually that
Quetzalcoatl
Quetzalcoatl is more
and the Thunderbird, and that just seemed like a nightmare with the feathers. But
even though there's a version of Thunderbird that's just a pterodactyl,
right? But
that's boring.
Yeah, that's kind of boring. I've got
a pterodactyl is more boring than a giant, than just a big bird.
Right, but I really like the way this guy turned out. It's more of what I always picture as a Wendigo, as opposed to some of the things I've seen lately.
Which are basically just deer people.
Yeah.
You know, it would make a bit of sense if it was a wolf, because wolves maybe
carnivores
and they eat other wolves. But
even a bear, but
maybe a bear. But deer, they eat zero meat. And for something that literally eats itself, wouldn't it make sense for it to? Okay. Wouldn't it make sense for it to be something that eats meat? Or maybe an animal that already is a cannibal?
Let's give it one last spin around through the
You don't have this. Well, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
I guess we can put that there.
Let's see, make it more even like this, make it look kind of creepy. If you saw him while you're camping at night. How does that look?
Running me?
I like it.
I'll put it back here. Oh, that looks really cool.
Yeah. If you saw that in the forest while you're, camping, I think.
I'm going to make a scene later.
Yeah. Yep. Just goes.
I want to show that.
I don't think we can get that, but yeah, that really.
And we might not be able to. But just.
He's making a really cool shadow on the ceiling.
You can see it on the camera.
That's pretty cool.
We tried it with the dragon once before, the bone dragon.
Hit the light, Sport.
And it was nowhere near as good. It was still really good. We were really impressed by how it was. But it wasn't the same because this one has a smaller base.
Yeah. It just goes to show you folks that you may grab a mini and you may just I don't want to paint this. give it a shot, because you never know when you might surprise yourself. Because this one, I actually really.
Well, you didn't want to make it.
I did. Yeah, honestly, I really was.
But by the time you made it, you're like, oh, this is gonna be good.
Yep. So let's move on to the beast, the big one.
What do you mean the big one?
That was the next thing we did.
What do you mean? Oh yeah, that.
And don't turn the spinner on. Let's just.
Yeah, don't put the spinner on. This for two reasons. One,
I just want to center it on.
Okay. The main reason is I don't even want to put it on here, but yeah.
It's just.
Also, the backside doesn't matter.
Yeah. The mine entrance was pretty challenging. Getting the rocks to look right.
Yeah, I didn't do much of this one, so I don't know much.
Yeah, well, you helped.
I help with the cutting.
A tip: if you're gonna ever try to glue sand to one of your projects, don't use super glue. That's a biggie I learned from this, because I had to actually put a second layer of sand, because apparently super glue has this weird reaction with sand, and it sort of melts it, almost wants to turn it into like a glass-like substance, and it just doesn't come off right. Mm-hmm. We added 1, 2, 3 pieces of Dungeons and Lasers stretch goal pieces. This is the wheelbarrow.
You know, this is a rock, which from far away looks like it's one of these rocks.
I was actually able to get some paint.
Not perfect, but
yeah, I was really surprised. Believe it or not, this shovel is one of those infamous pieces in the stretch goals that if you do not clip it out properly, it will snap like a twig. Believe it or not, it snapped like a twig, and I was actually able to super glue it to the point where I actually thought it didn't look terrible. It's actually basically just a shovel, and I just wanted to, dress this terrain up. I didn't go with the mine cart. I have half a dozen or so different mine carts to choose from, and I didn't want to leave one permanently affixed to this piece of scenery, because it'll just make it harder to pack away if I need to.
One thing I don't like is it looks too non-natural to me.
Which part?
Well, yeah, never mind. By the way, this thing, which he said might be a mold, I hope it isn't, but we thought it looked like some sort of painting thing, so we kept it.
Yeah, it was just some, discoloration.
Because it kind of, it kind of looks like some sort of animal.
Yeah, like maybe, a petroglyph or something like that, or a cave painting, but on the outside, left over from...
maybe not cave, I mean technically
maybe a cult symbol of some sort,
Or just some other thing.
We just really got lucky with it, and I saw that and I went, I'm gluing it on there.
Yeah, we don't know what it is, doesn't have to be anything specific, it's just a thing that was probably put there by a human.
Yeah. But all in all, I was actually really pleased. A lot of people complain about putting rocks on your terrain. It's going to make it too heavy. But where we live, it's really windy, and if we were to ever play outdoors or even in the garage with the door open, terrain could just go flying. I'm all in favor of using stuff to weight down your scenery. It doesn't have to all be made out of foam or cardboard or stuff like that. If you want to use wood, like we did, or actual rocks or sand, it really, it's not that heavy.
Also,
I can lift it up with 2 fingers, even though it's...
Same.
Yeah.
And I'm very not physically strong.
So let's go on to the next one. But all in all, I actually had a lot of fun with it.
Not relatively, but
I really like the way it turned out. I think,
at least.
It's definitely...
Also, the sand still comes off, but that's always a thing.
Yeah, we're going to have...
Also, there's a lot of sand on here.
Yeah, I'll blow it off with something. I don't want to rub it or wipe it and then risk getting
Also, one more thing that we've said many times, but we are also in favor of using natural things as things for...
Especially from our own area. We go on hikes and bike rides.
The only issue is sand. The sand, way too big, because it's real sand. It doesn't scale down properly.
Yeah, I'm hoping it just comes off more as like just dirt and, packed.
Yeah, but it doesn't really matter. It looks good either way.
Yeah, especially from a distance, I like the fact that it's got tiny little, different colors of, particles of sand in it. It's not all one uniform, perfectly, bleached sand. It's got tiny little differences in it.
So that's pretty good. So the next thing is the...
Campsite? No, you're right. The totem poles. Okay.
We'll do his first.
No, just put them both together.
It might be... I don't know. Mine looks a bit worse in my opinion, but it also.
Let's just do them both at the same time
Yeah.
and hit the spinny part.
I mean, I am actually proud of the physical thing, but the actual paint job. I mean, it wasn't meant to be perfect. I do think we should add some bushes still, though.
We can do that.
Actually, I shouldn't turn them.
And the Cthulhu one, I'm really digging the way it looked. It definitely is almost exactly what I pictured in concept, coming up with the idea
and
for
mine was also exactly how well, the wings were going to be a bit different.
And the colors that I worked on it really gives you that sort of, wet, sort of slimy Cthulhu look to it. His is supposed to look weathered. He wanted it to look very weathered and very
but also,
old.
like, it was never made perfect to begin with, which it wouldn't have been.
And we flocked to quite a few projects this month with your basic green standard flock. And every single project we worked on has tiny little bits of white showing through. It just does not want to stick to the very edge. I packed it. I poured tons of glue. So I'm just going to go over with a basic green paint and just hit up the very edges because it just does not want to stick there.
You can see what it looks like with the light on?
Sure, why not? Let it come out.
I'll go and look up.
Once again, this thing has already made its money. Definitely.
Still don't look up yet because it still hasn't turned around yet. But wow, I am
definitely giving off the bat signal here.
I mean, mine, it's not the best, but I still like it. And his is also pretty good. Mine doesn't look the best in the shadow, but yours actually looks very different in the shadow, right?
Yeah, it does.
It doesn't look the same.
I think it's because the tentacles are showing.
Yeah, the tentacles on the side, it looks like it's wearing a crown.
Yeah.
But, okay, I'll turn the lights back on. And...
But these, I definitely like these. These are nice little pieces of terrain you can throw on a variety of battlefields or adventure, gaming tables for lots of different purposes. Also, I really like the way these turned out. I actually plan on making some more things like this, just simple, tiny little, small base scenery that you can just add. Well, yeah, we should have cut that down, but all in all, these turned out.
We'll probably add some bushes or something.
Yeah, maybe.
Also, it doesn't matter. The colors on mine are kind of weird. I didn't really understand. Not understand, but I didn't really know what colors I wanted to use, because anytime I think of what.
No, I yawned.
Anytime I think of like Native American totem pole type colors, I always think of orange and green because mine's Aztec stuff. I don't even know if they had orange and green as their colors. But I always think of that.
We're definitely not going to need this for the next.
For the next craft?
This was the final craft of the month, which was the campsite. Personally, I wasn't real thrilled with the way it came out. I mean, it looks okay, but it reminds me of stuff I did in grade school as art projects. I actually did something almost identical to this in kindergarten.
I still like this fire.
The fire is the best part. I do like the way the tents turned out. They're definitely weathered looking.
However, I don't think this is how the tents are supposed to be.
But I'm just, it's not my finest work. But it's definitely all you need.
It's also going to be good for our scene.
Yeah. It's definitely all you need to let your players know, okay, you're camped for the night. Here's the fire. Here's the tents. And over here's something rustling around in the bushes. What do you guys do? Or out come the goblins or...
something.
But the fire does work looks really good. You did an excellent job once again on the fire. And, if you dim the lights for your players and slowly wake them up to something rustling around with their horses or their camping gear, you're definitely ready to... You definitely have all you need for that, nighttime, encounter. Who was on watch? Who's keeping watch for the party? And what do? You're set. It was the most inexpensive project we've ever made, I think.
Yeah.
Didn't even use an entire piece of foam board.
wasn't expecting to.
But
I mean,
think
this is something we already had. Rocks, rocks are rare. In some places they technically are. Sand, not rare. This stuff, we did have to buy a new one, but we should have done that anyways.
Yeah.
We already have Paco, as I said. Everything here we already had.
Yeah, if you're a crafter, you could whip this out for dirt cheap. If you don't have the flock, that cost me like $4 for the bag, and I still have it.
You should get it anyways.
Yeah. I'm even happy with the stick pile. It's I should have made it just a little bit taller, but all in all, like I said, cheap, easy, quick way to represent what's going on in the middle of the night for your party of adventurers. Now let's go on to the dragon.
Yes, I'll turn this off.
Yes, please.
Spill a bunch of...
Yeah. And if you guys have a tip to if there's something I can spray on this stuff to keep the grass from, repopulating my house every time we touch it, I was tempted to use the old trick of hairspray.
Hairspray?
Yeah, someone told me that you can use hairspray as like a clear coat. But I know in grade school and elementary school, we would use hairspray on things that had glitter on them, and that would keep the glitter from falling off, kind of, not entirely. Let's bring this back.
Yes. The dragon.
I definitely think you're going to want to use this for the dragon.
Yes. Or also
believe it or not, we went into this dragon with not a lot of enthusiasm.
Especially me.
Yeah, especially you.
But I like how it turned out. I just didn't like painting it. Yeah. But we are going to use that as an example in a video next month.
Yes. However,
I do like how it turned out.
It's actually in my top 3 favorites of all the dragons of the month we've done, from Bulbo and the Archon dragons. Although I'm sure Thal, their undead version of it, their undead dragon, is probably gonna knock her socks off a bit more than this. Having looked at some of the pieces on the sprues and what have you. But we definitely totally changed our minds about the finished project. We were glad we did this one.
I didn't like painting it, but I liked the outcome.
Yeah. I had a lot of fun with the base. I tried a couple of new things. Normally I just put sand and leave it as sand, or other things like that.
I also think we're going to have 2 scenes.
I did the Games Workshop black, sand, black, then gray.
Or in black sand.
Well, no, I painted the sand black, and then dry brushed it with gray, and then dry brushed it with white, and I really liked the way it turned out.
You did the same with this, I assume?
Yes, I did.
I assume that makes it look like gravel?
Yes. Let's hit the lights on this guy and see what we can see, because we really want to... We've already seen this one. We want to,
It's one of the not as good ones, but...
You definitely get the... You can see through the rib cage and the hands. It's
so good. But not as good as some of the other ones, but still amazing.
Yep. It's definitely worth the money we paid for the turntable. Definitely get a kick out of that. I hope you guys are not getting bored with the shadow puppets we're throwing up on the ceiling.
Shadow puppets.
But we're getting a kick out of this because in person it looks pretty cool.
Yeah.
If you've got a way to put a light underneath some of your display pieces, I suggest you do so. And, throw the old bat signal, or in this case the dragon symbol, up on your ceiling or your wall somewhere. No, but it's the basic same concept. We're glad we did this one. We're going to give WizKids a break from doing dragons
for a while.
We were tempted to get the red dragon and just finish off the collection.
Really like it. I mean, it's good, but the poses.
The poses, we just don't like the pose. And maybe in person it looks better, but we've got half a dozen other dragons to get to this month, so we're going to try to do just that. Now, on to the little guy's
extra credit works.
He really did a lot of stuff, and I'm going to hand it over to him. What do you want to show off first?
Okay, I want to show off the bug, but I don't. But should I bring the original one?
If you want.
Okay.
You better make it quick though.
Okay, you say something.
Okay.
I'm gonna go.
He not last month, but several months ago, he took a bag of rubber insects. He's a big fan of Hollow Knight, so he's also a big fan of bugs of all kinds, which I personally am not a fan of bugs. Having worked with bugs in previous line of work, I don't like bugs. He likes bugs. So he took a bag of rubber bugs and a pair of clippers and some hot glue, put them on there. He deserves it. And he created this little creature, which I really liked.
I do.
I was always a big fan of the Franks from Arduin, and it sort of was partially, I want to think, inspired by those because I do have some, and I showed him the books, and told him about the Franks, and we had some adventures and stuff like that.
We did some stuff with them.
So he made this one.
It's on his
He made this one a while back, and
one of the first months.
Yeah, one of the first months of our
There's also another
channel.
one, but
he did a really good job for his first try using a hot glue gun, and basically just chopping up some bugs and reposing them, and working with milliput and some toothpicks and stuff like that.
But one thing I will say, using hot glue as the main thing to glue together was one of the reasons why it didn't turn out as good. Which is why the remake that I made...
Yeah, leave the other one there so they have full contrast. He remade the entire thing, and I think this really turned out pretty spiffy in comparison to the first one. The first one has some obvious flaws, but this one, let's give him a spin.
Yeah, most of these flaws are fixed.
And he did a really good job on every aspect of it. We had a couple of problems, but we managed to fix those problems, and I think...
Mainly the blade falling off.
Yeah.
I probably actually should have shaved the blade down into more of a thing, but...
It looks fine. It looks really good. It definitely would not look bad on a gaming table for lots of different encounters. Than
this one, in my opinion.
You've learned a lot. This just goes to show you what you can learn in probably less than 6 months of, just being regular. Just, clip, sand, file, sculpt, paint, whatever it is. Do something, just an hour a day. If you can only do 5 minutes a day, it still keeps the motivation going. I personally, if I don't get to paint or file or clip or glue something together every day, it's not a good day. I'll actually start to get a little irritable if I don't get to do something at least, once a day. I try to do most of my crafting pretty late at night, actually, or on the weekends. But I think this guy really turned out good. Let's move on to the next one.
I see the light.
Oh, you want to do the light? Okay.
Also, I'm going to say a few more things. The reasons why I wanted to remake it. First one, the main reason is I didn't think the first one was good enough. I wanted to make a better version. Let me move it because I don't think that's in a good spot.
I don't think you're going to see much from this one. It just doesn't have the
profile.
Yeah, but
yeah,
but let it come around for one more pass.
The ceiling isn't going to be that good.
One more pass so they can get a really good look at how spooky it is.
I guess you could use that. Yeah, it's not as good.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to distinguish exactly what
you can see the blade and some other stuff.
But it could be anything.
Yeah.
But from front on with the light, just even without the special effects, folks.
Not really special effects.
He really did a good job on this, and if he keeps it up, someday you guys will be buying miniatures with his signature.
Probably not.
If someone wants to, start making molds of the stuff he did, I would not be surprised to see him making miniatures of all sorts. Maybe just, learning CAD drawing and things like that, because he does do a lot of drawing. Hopefully someday we will see. Because I'd love to see them in metal.
True.
I would really love to see that.
Also, the main reason I wanted to remake it, one, didn't think it was good enough. I wanted to make it better. But the other reason is that it was too tall. Similar to the red thing I made in the sci-fi month, I want to remake it, but shorter.
Okay.
Like around similar to this one.
So it's more in scale with actual miniatures instead of just a representation of what your imagination was coming up with. Okay, what do you want to show off next? Because you got a couple more.
Okay.
Glue guy?
Glue guy. Oh, by the way, the reason I wanted to make these in every way I've made a craft before. Sculpting, so there will be a completely sculpted thing, which it actually turned out a lot better than I thought. And by the way, it came out because I was sculpting with this, and I had more with just taking stuff and putting it together.
Leftover milliput.
And I just finished it.
So what did you think of we've been using the standard yellow milliput, but we picked up a package of the super fine. What did you think?
It was better, but I don't think that it was worth the extra money. I get it. if you want, I don't know how to describe it.
I could have done that. You didn't have to walk all the way over here.
Yeah, why did I walk all the way over there?
That's my job tonight, folks. Which one do you want to do? Gray, glue guy, or the big guy?
I'll save that one for last.
I had a feeling. So gray or glue? Glue. All right. Here we have another glue gun monstrosity.
I want to see if the glow-in-the-dark spray paint works. But
your typical slimy.
I'll put it on top because.
That's cool. Hey, he did actually use some glow-in-the-dark paint on this.
Don't know if it works because it's really old.
Yeah, and it hasn't actually been charging up and
I guess it's charging up now.
But it's actually one of his best glue monsters. You know, I mean, a lot of people, DM Scotty and others, have made basic slimes and jellies from the monster manuals out of just hot glue. I tried my hand at it too. It's not hard, but it's not easy either. You really got to be patient. And it takes a little experience to get to know your glue gun and how hot glue works. But I really like this, guys. It's one of my favorite glue.
It's not my favorite glue thing I've made.
No, I think the sci-fi ones are my favorite. Those ones really turned out really good.
But the thing is, the only reason I made this was because I thought I already made the big one. I already made this one, and I had already made the sculpture. So I thought I'm gonna make one of every type of thing I've ever made.
Which
the only one left.
Using all the different mediums, basically.
Yes.
So, to me, it kind of reminds me of a really ugly catfish.
Catfish?
I don't know why, but it's just got that sort of kind of almost a catfish sort of looking mouth, but I can't wait to throw it at you. You're in a dungeon, and hey, guess what? Your own creation. So, you want to move on to the big guy now?
I want to see what it looks like.
Oh.
I'm going to turn this light off, see if it has any glow-in-the-dark stuff. If it doesn't, I'll turn the light back on. Probably doesn't.
It actually does.
Oh, it does.
Not bad.
Oh, not bad at all.
Can you see that, folks? I can't.
Yeah, but not much. I didn't spray the whole thing. I wanted only the front to have it.
Well, that's kind of creepy.
Yeah, it is. Also, I really like how the red is shining on the...
Hit the light back? Yeah.
I'm going to... should I see what it looks like with this light on? Or will that ruin some of the effect?
Yeah.
It does. Well...
Yeah,
I forgot. It has no shadow because it's completely.
Like, what are you looking for?
Yeah.
There's nothing there, buddy.
Yeah.
So.
It's transparent.
But that's kind of cool.
The shadow and sunlight that we have are surprisingly bright.
So.
It is actually
just to show you that this was a spray can glow-in-the-dark paint. We actually haven't used it for almost anything yet, have we?
Yeah, this is the first thing we've used it on.
Cool. I hope there's a lot left. Now for the...
Small guy.
Okay. This was made out of milliput?
Nope. Green stuff. Entirely out of green stuff.
Oh, that's right.
Aside from this, which was actually made from one of the bug legs.
It's pretty small. You probably can't see much, but it's a nice little critter made completely from scratch.
The eyes...
Let us see it for the camera.
Yeah. The eyes are actually night scale paint.
Oh, okay. So you got a chance to use
just... In reality, I could have done better on things like the base and stuff, but it's really just... I'll turn the light on.
Yeah, don't turn the light off, though. They won't be able to see it. It's too tiny.
Sure. Well, yeah, but it might still get a good effect on the actual miniature. Or will it just...
Yeah, I don't think you're going to see much, but...
No. The light completely drowns it out.
Yeah. But not bad. If he keeps it up, he will definitely be...
Yeah, I used to be very good. Well, I still technically am good at sculpting, but I haven't sculpted in a long time. This was the first thing I've done in a while, and my first try at doing something with...
One more pass for the camera, and then we'll go on to the big one.
Yes. Okay. The big one.
Yeah.
I'm excited. I really like how it turned out.
Yeah, it's definitely intimidating.
Yeah. Also, I technically want to make more of these because it's like it's an ant kind of thing. It was intentionally simple. Just spray with gray, like a spray paint with gray, and then some dry brush, and that's it. The base is just a strong or soft tone wash, and the sword is just silver with same wash on it.
Definitely, if you're like us and you buy WizKids miniatures, save those bases. Don't always base the miniature on the base that it comes with.
Yeah,
and
if it can stand by itself without a base,
you'll thank yourself later with
what you can use the old bases for.
I really, it's one of the things I like best about, crafting and stuff like that. And buying WizKids miniatures is always get a free base. And if, since I usually only buy the larger creatures and monsters, I always take that base, put it off to the side, going, that's gonna be even the small ones. That's gonna be the home to something. I don't know what yet, but it's like getting 2 for 1. Now on to this gigantic.
The second, is it bigger than the steampunk?
No, it's not.
Okay.
The steampunk. This was a 99-cent store Army Men tank that he turned into a. In reality, the tank death machine.
The tank wasn't even the main part. This thing, which does actually move, was so strange to make. It's so weird. There's bottle caps. I mean this. I literally use a part of I use rubber on it. There's rubber here. I took so much stuff and just put it all together because
there's cardboard. There's Final Faction pieces. This is just another one of his. Just taking my bits box and just dumping it out on the floor and going, I'm gonna use that. I'm gonna use that. I'm gonna use that.
Yeah.
It's definitely got that Mad Max, Gamma World sort of, post-apocalyptic death machine. Whether someone's inside it, a bunch of people are inside it, or it's just a armored ogre-like killing machine.
Speaking of ogres, orcs.
Yeah.
It was technically made by orcs in the story.
Oh, okay.
Or whatever. But my main fear was having it look too much like Games Workshop orc machine thing.
Orky stuff.
Which was my main goal. I still wanted it to look like something that...
I did help him with the one idea of making it, have the humanoid sort of torso on it.
Yeah.
I had that in one of my stories.
I made this first and kind of wanted to have tank treads, but I also wanted to know if I could have legs, but I couldn't, and he recommended to use this tank.
Yeah.
Do you think that the light will do anything with it?
Not really. I mean,
it's not with it.
Yeah.
Also, this fire weird sort of thing.
Yeah, that was from a Happy Meal toy. It was the projectile from some Happy Meal toy from a long time.
They both were, I think.
Oh, really?
But yeah, the whole purpose was to make it look like it was. Its main goal was to be intimidating.
And I think you nailed it.
But also still function.
Right, and definitely looks like it's been through some battles. Did you use any of the new metallics on this from Army Painter?
Yes. This is old gold.
Okay.
All the foam stuff is old gold. Most of it is old gold.
Oh, you use foam on it too? Wow. Yeah. There's cardboard. There's, like I said, Final Faction pieces. There's a couple bottle caps. There's a traffic cone.
There's 2 traffic cones.
There's 2 traffic cones. This is just one heck of a monster.
Also, by the way, the helmet or the head thing is actually
from one of those action figures.
Yeah, the claws that we use, and I think
from those Red Ninja.
Yeah, that we used for the skull and guys a long time ago.
Right.
And also the thing we used for the back of the hood, it had a mask on it, and that mask is this, just turned upside down. This was the most just taking a bits box and just
dumping it on the floor and picking. So next time your wife or your girlfriend looks at you funny because you're picking up something and throw it in a box, just send her our way and we'll show you what can be done, with the pile of junk and turn it into something that's, it's art.
Yeah, it definitely was different from the actual biggest thing I've made, which was the steampunk thing, because I had a clear vision as soon as I found the first parts. This thing,
you just add stuff until you're done, right?
Yeah, but I obviously wanted it to not look like it was literally thrown together. I also wanted to keep some shape,
right?
Which is why I used the same pieces from the same set multiple times. Gotcha. Using the same tank piece here also helped. Also, having it be somewhat symmetrical helped a lot. Because aside from the body, which has 2 separate arms... No, actually, aside from the arms, it is technically completely symmetrical.
Are those...
Toothpicks?
No. Are those clothespin?
Yes, they are.
Oh, my goodness. I just say, there's all kinds of crazy
also,
stuff.
Also, the weird divots in the clothespins are what I use to connect the balls for the arms.
Gotcha.
If you look, I don't think it's possible. I don't think it's visible. Yeah, but I don't think it's visible on the camera. But if it is, the balls at the end are right here. If you can see that, not sure. But if you can, I connected it there.
Ready to make a scene?
Sure, we're probably going to need to make 2 because this doesn't make any sense. Why would you have a giant tank, a dragon, a single ant?
I'll tell you what. I'll do the Western scene.
And I'll do the whatever this is scene. Is this going to be in the Western scene?
That's, I don't know.
I think that these 2 should be together, though.
Okay.
I almost think that these 2 should be separate. I mean, that this shouldn't be in the Western scene. But I don't know. You take all the camp stuff. I guess. Do you want to use the dragon in the Western scene?
I don't know, to be honest.
So I'm not using this. It's not good. So probably not using this either. Are you using the dragon or?
No.
Okay, then I'll use it.
You got your
Let's turn this on, turn the lights off, and focus primarily on this scene before moving over to this other one. Also, these don't fit. They don't fit in what I had planned, but there's that much.
But I definitely can see your cowboys camping out.
Yeah, but I guess I'll turn the lights on, focus on this scene, then maybe turn them back on or something. So I guess let's see how that one looks. It might be a bit too dark.
Unbeknownst to the
No,
cowpokes, the Wendigo was actually making his residence inside the old abandoned mine.
I'll turn the lights on a bit more. So let's hit another side. That's a bit too much. There we go.
Wish we still played Boot Hill. That would be a fun use for these. Or Deadlands. But all in all, I'm pretty pleased with the way these guys turned out. Maybe we'll be able to use some of this stuff for Shadows of Brimstone. I'm going to put these off to actually, let's leave them there.
You turn the light off of the
Campfire?
Yeah. Oh, that has been it for today's month.
Hope you guys enjoyed crafting with us this month.
Yeah, today's month.
Today's month, yeah. It's like what I said last time.
What did you say last time?
A week and a month or a day and a month, something like that. But anyways, folks, we had a very busy, productive month. We hope you guys did too. Feel free to send us photos to our email address in the description of this video. We'd love to see what you guys have been doing on your crafting and your spare time. And you know, summer's right around the corner, so you can expect a whole lot more from us. Hope to see you guys.
You mean the same amount of videos, but just maybe more stuff.
Yeah, maybe.
Or maybe less stuff. Who knows?
Maybe we've got next month planned out.
No, we don't.
Well, partially, and the summer and all that.
We'll give you time to predict what it is based on one craft that we made this month. But it doesn't have to, it can be extra credit. It can be my extra credit is all around. Or it could be something. Anything we made this month is a hint towards the next month, but not anything specific.
So there you have it, folks. Hope you guys enjoyed the video, and make sure you hit that thumbs up on your way out. We'll see you guys Tuesday. Have a great week.
Yes.
Say goodnight for it.
Yes.